Unlike many businesses in Michigan, the sign in front of Hart Enterprises reads, "Help Wanted," to add to its ever-growing staff.
In the last 3-4 months, we've hired 30 additional people, which amounts to 30% of our workforce. How many companies around can say they're doing that right now? And they're the kind of jobs Michigan wants.
The growth of this high-tech medical device manufacturer continues despite years of legal headaches with the state's Department of Environmental Quality over a so-called wetland. And last month, the battle went from land to air.
And they come in here about 10 o'clock in the morning, unannounced.
Hart Executive Vice President Bob Striebel says the DEQ wanted to inspect the company's air quality.
And I said, well, is there any way to put it off for a little bit so that we can have time to determine what our rights are and what our responsibilities are? And they said, no, we're not allowed to do that. There's two choices. You can either allow us to continue with the inspection, or you can deny us access. If you deny us access, we'll be back with a conservation officer and a warrant, but we will be back.
So what did you do?
We denied them inspection, the right to inspect.
Did they come back with a warrant?
They haven't been yet because we have them in court right now.
Striebel says not only was the visit unexpected, but unnecessary.
Do you need an air quality permit?
No, we do not. We don't have an air quality permit. We don't need one. And, you know, if push comes to shove, we're prepared to prove that. We don't even generate what a cow generates.
Striebel acknowledges the state does have a right to inspect air quality, but says Hart Enterprises should be a low priority.
There are plenty of other businesses. In fact, one right across the street, it's a body shop. A body shop puts out many times more things into the air than we ever do in a whole year. They might put out in one day. I don't think they went to any of those. We know they didn't go across the street.
Hart has been engaged in an ongoing dispute with the state over this patch of land. It's where the company wants to expand its parking lot to accommodate the growing staff. But the state stepped in and declared it a wetland.
We've been dealing with it, putting up with it, not really, fighting it for 4 years. You know, we wish we didn't have to. Takes a lot of time away from doing business here.
Mackinac Center Director of Environmental Policy Russ Harding is a former DEQ director. He says he's puzzled by the state's actions.
It would be highly unusual that we would ever have the time in a state agency to go out and look for someone to inspect. The state inspects air quality for a number of facilities, auto assembly plants, many complex operations. Even here in Sparta, in this industrial park, there are operations here that clearly have air emissions. This facility clearly is a de minimis facility with 0 to very low emissions. So it, again, is highly unusual. You wonder why in the world the agency would take the time out of what they claim is their busy schedule to come and look for something where there's not even an air permit.
They're in air quality, for goodness sakes. They know the kinds of industries that they're dealing with. They should. We have sued them for harassment. Somebody has to do that. I mean, you know, it's ridiculous the way that they behave.
The DEQ did not return our calls for comment in time for this story. Harding says the governor needs to include such regulatory overreach in his reform wish list.
If you don't fix the regulatory issues that this state is faced with and get rid of some of this bureaucracy and simplify it, and that you don't have to make the laws any less stringent, but treat businesses with respect, work with them for environmental compliance, that what you're going to end up with is chasing businesses away. You're going to lose more jobs. And it won't make much difference what your labor environment is. It won't make much difference what the Michigan business tax is if you can't get through that entry, through that gate, because the regulatory environment is making it difficult to do business here.
We do want a good environment, but at the same time, a little common sense wouldn't hurt. And anybody with a half an ounce of it can see this wasn't a common sense decision at all.
Striebel says if the administration doesn't do something, Hart Enterprises, along with its jobs and its Help Wanted sign, could leave Michigan.
We've got now 120 employees out there whose families depend on us being here. Some of them have, I know as well as I know my own family. Do you think that We want to leave all those people behind? Absolutely not. And it's a crime that we have to think about doing that. But, you know, you can only put up with so much.